State police are conducting their own independent investigation of what occurred. But today, Dauphin County telling us that a 911 dispatcher should have escalated a phone call from the alleged arsonist to authorities. That phone call taking place less than an hour after 38-year-old Cody Balmer is alleged to have scaled the fence here at the governor's residence, setting fires inside of the mansion here and forcing the evacuation of the governor and family members that were here.
911, what's the address of the emergency?
Well, I don't really have an emergency. I would like to apologize.
That exchange opens the recorded 911 phone call county officials say was placed by suspected governor's residence arsonist Cody Balmer less than an hour after authorities say he started fires inside the mansion there with Molotov cocktails. The phone call was mentioned in a search warrant that referenced this comment.
I don't really have an emergency. I would like to apologize. Governor Josh Shapiro needs to know that Cody Balmer will not take part in his plans for what he wants to do to the Palestinian people.
In the recording, the dispatcher is not heard asking any questions of Balmer. Dauphin County's chief of clerk and chief of staff wrote in a statement that the 911 telecommunicator made an error in judgment in not escalating the call to authorities and that the matter was being handled internally. Some have questioned why Balmer wasn't taken into custody sooner given the 911 call. Investigators say he eventually turned himself in at state police headquarters, but not before a pair of encounters following the fire with Pembroke police in his neighborhood and at the police station.
You all know where to find me. I'm not hiding, and I will confess to everything that I had done.
Pembroke's police chief could not accommodate an on-camera interview, but he did tell me that during those two occasions in which Balmer approached officers, that Balmer did not make it explicitly clear that he had a connection to the arson at the governor's residence, and that Balmer did not show up on databases that would have suggested he was a suspect in a crime. State police declining to release any additional information about what happened, citing that ongoing investigation, including whether they had issued a be on the lookout alert to authorities. In Harrisburg, Tom Lehman, News 8.